Welcome back guys to an F1 career mode video. Today we'll be doing the Singapore Grand Prix. We currently sit in 10th in the driver's standings over our teammate who's in 12th. We sit in 6th in the constructors with 28 points over Visa Cash App RB, who have 20 points and haven't scored in quite a while. We'll get straight into the video as we got an MGUH upgrade and it's gone on successfully. We have control electronics that went on successfully.
And we're going to have them with us for the next
do
Grand
an
Prix.
upgrade right now as things stand. It'll be on for the US Grand Prix. We'll get the front wing flap profile on for the front downforce. We'll continue through. We got the monocoque structure, which goes on successfully, and the stators who go on successfully as well. So in the comparison, we currently sit in 6th in the cars, as we are right now just ahead of Visa Cash App RB and a fair way from Aston Martin. And let's get into qualifying. On to our first lap of qualifying. We come around the last corners of the track, go into our lap. Bottas looks the fastest lap of 1:31.5, so that's around the area we want to get. Into the first corner as we go. We've had some poor run of qualifying recently, so it would be good for us to be able to get through P2 and beyond. In the final straight we go, using all our ARS and BRS. So we go into the corners, and the bend for the final corner. A little late in the braking bit. And we go past the line with a 1:37. It's a good first lap, as we are above Hulkenberg, but we are below Hamilton and Perez. Lando Norris tops the timing sheets over Perez and Alonso. Gasly comes in 10th, we come in 12th with a 1:37. And Albon, Ricciardo, Joe, Sargent and Bottas are all eliminated. The two Williams, the two Kick Saubers and the one Visa Cash App RB all out. On to Q2. On to our first run we go. Taking the corner, a bit deep. We go around the bend. So hopefully we'll see how we go in P2. Hopefully we can make it to P12 or 11, because that would be a good target to reach. Even higher would be lovely, but we have to keep it realistic. Past Piastri. Now into this turn. A little tap of the wall. We use this one. Onto the straight we go. Use EOS and BOS all the way down. We come into the final few corners of the lap. Putting a bank of time on for now. As we go up to the line, do a 1:36. We round the final corners of the lap as we go on to our second qualifying lap. It's good first corner there. Had a pretty good couple turns as we go past there. Onto the straight now. We deploy our EOS and use DRS down the straight. Purple first sector. A good start for us. As we go through these corners. It's P14. as Fernando Alonso tops the timing sheet over Leclerc and Sainz. Gasly makes it through to Q3 in P10 with a 1:32, and we come in 14th with a 1:36. And Sonoda, Hulkenberg, Stroll, ourselves, and Magnussen are all out at the qualifying. Two has.
Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. Things have changed slightly around the Marina Bay circuit, with 4 corners removed between turns 16 and 19. It means the lap length is now just over 3 miles, and that might come as a welcome relief to the drivers, and more especially their brakes. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Perez, Russell, Sainz, Hamilton, Gasly, Sonoda, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Daniel, Magnussen, Albon, Ricciardo, Joe, Sargent, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me, bringing glamour and expertise to our commentary today, Naomi Schiff. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race. But I can tell you that pre-race rituals are a real thing. When I was in go-karting, I used to touch every wheel in a specific sequence before I got into the kart. And then I stepped up to cars and had a specific set of fireproof base layers just for race day. So watch the drivers when they're on the grid. Some may be sitting on the floor and isolating, others may be up to other things that they do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
So for strategy, seems to be medium hards as the probable strategy. So we'll be doing medium hards for the race from about lap 13 to 13 laps on the mediums and 18 on the hards.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. So as all the cars reform the grids, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
And away we go for the race. We get a decent start off the line as Sonoda gets some poor start. Gasly going on the inside of Hulkenberg, who's in P10. We just sneak through on Hulkenberg and get up to P11. Good start for us, 3 positions gained, and Gasly has a mediocre start which keeps him in P10. We got some cars ahead that would like to overtake as we go through the straight. Around the corner is a couple cars battling ahead, Sainz and Perez, as they go side by side through these turns. Perez backs out as he lets Sainz through, and now Sainz is up into P7, or P6 actually. We go through the winding turns of Singapore. We look to just stay behind Gasly and hope for him to get the points today and make a move up further. We hope that he can make a move on Hamilton sometime soon to get us further up the grid. So we'll just sit behind Gasly and use our ERS to keep up if we need to. So we go through the final corners of this track. Verstappen's in the lead at the moment. We're in the lead by a pretty big margin too over the McLarens. DRS enabled now in the race as we go through these double turns. Okay, so we've broken DRS on Hulkenberg now as our tyres are at 16% worn. We currently sit behind Gasly as he chases after Perez as he's getting right on the tail of him. We've now dropped Hulkenberg back 5 seconds as we chase after Gasly, and we just keep staying behind him as he goes on a run to overtake Perez. Hopefully we'll be able to undercut them in the pits and we'll end up being a team 9 and 10 as a team rather than 10 and 11. So that's the plan. As long as no mechanical failures happen, we should be guaranteed at least P10 for the Alpine team, as we should be able to get 1 point away from this race at least, and if we undercut some drivers, maybe a few. So hopefully that happens, as we're on 37% wear on the front right tyre, which is pretty good considering we're going to be pitting in the next few laps. Perez right now on the back of Mercedes of Hamilton, as those two get closer and closer, as the tyres of Perez get better and the tyres get worse of Hamilton. And Tsunoda and Hulkenberg just switch places back in at the 12th and 13th as we look to come into the pits in the next couple laps, probably around the same time as Gasly pits. Hamilton and Perez battling ahead as Perez makes the position. We just stick behind Gasly for now as we're coming into the pits in the next 2 laps. Hamilton now behind Perez, which is showing that the hard tyres are beginning to get better over the mediums, and the mediums falling off and being time to pit now for the hards. In goes Gasly and Hamilton into the pits as we stay around for 1 lap. We didn't really pass our teammate who just went into the pits, so it's given us the free achievement for that as we go around these few opening corners of the lap. We're just going to try to stay in touch with Perez for as long as we can. We're just out of the DRS of him, but we are right near him. We round the final couple corners of the lap as we're about to go into the pits to pit. We'll be pitting onto the hard compound tyre, as that is the next tyre that will take us to the end of the race. We've got Verstappen, Russell, Sainz all pitting, Piastri too, as we go into the pits onto the new set of hards. We come out just behind Russell and will come out ahead of Gasly most likely. I'd expect by just a little bit of margin, as he came out ahead of Hamilton. We come out side by side with Gasly as Gasly gets through, and now we just stay behind him and hopefully get a position on Perez too, as that would loft us up into 8th and 9th if so. as Hamilton's had a poor pit stop which has put him behind Gasly, and we're now not too far away from Russell. Perez comes into the pits as he's going to come out side by side with us, and he's just planted himself behind Hamilton. So we're up into P8 and 9 now in the race, which is going to be some solid points for us if we can hold on to it. So currently at the moment, Verstappen's in P1. He's well and truly ahead of the pack as he's well clear in first place. We have a pack behind an Aston Martin of Alonso in second, and we're currently sitting in P8 and 9, hopefully able to get 6 points out of this Grand Prix as Perez sits out the points and Hamilton in front of him in 10th place with 1 point to his name for this race currently. As things stand, would hope to get these points, as that would put us even further ahead of these Cash App RB.
We can't let them hold us up for too long, so let's try and get past as soon as possible and crack on. Push, push.
We're probably not going to overtake Gasly, as right now we're currently just sitting behind him in a good spot where we're going to get some solid points for our team. So we'll just let Gasly do his thing as we sit behind him with 2 points currently in the position we're at. And currently at the moment we've got Verstappen leading the championship, as you would expect, just like in real life. And he currently sits with Norris behind him, who's on 179 points going into this race. So hopefully, well, we have no hopes really of getting anywhere further in the championship than we are already. We're above Yuki Tsunoda and we're going to get further ahead by this race. Hopefully Visa Cash App RV don't do well the rest of the season, because that would be good for us, as we're currently sitting on, well, if we get 6 points this race, we'll be on 34 points in 6th place to their 20 points in 7th place. And Gasly's currently on 11 points. If he gets this position by the end of the race, he'll have 4 more points to his name, which will put him on 15, 1 behind Tsunoda. And we're currently on at 17, but if we get 2 points, we'll be on 19 points. And we'll still sit in 10th, in a solid 10th. It's currently Hamilton and Perez battling, going into those corners. Perez has the better tyres, as Hamilton, who's behind him, or right now in front of him, who's on the hard compounder tyre. And they're costing each other time, really, as now they're second back behind me and Gasly. And we go into these few turns here, into this area, in Marina Bay. As Perez is caught back up now and is in P10, so we're having to keep him behind for the rest of the race, as he's on better tyres. But by the end of the race, those tyres will wear out and the hards will become better, just like they did in the first stint when Perez, who overtook Hamilton on the fresher, won the same safety car. Albon out of the session, don't know why. We'll have to see what goes on here, so we get a warning. Yuki Tsunoda out as well.
I've got information on Albon for you. Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Okay, so we might come into the pit for some soft tyres here, as there's no threat from behind, as the cars are well and truly back, so we should be out of the pits before they get to us. If Gasly did the same, that would be ideal, but I doubt he is. So we'll come in for the soft set of tyres and hopefully get ourselves going. This will bunch us up closer to Russell and the crew ahead, so Gasly and ourselves might have a chance of getting more points than we are in right now. We're going to come into the box to pit for fresh softs, as those should take us to the end of the race. and we should be able to gain positions on drivers behind and ahead, as we will come out behind Hamilton. We come into the pits for a new fresh set of softs.
Okay, let's go now. Come on. That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting.
We've come out further behind than I'd expect. Probably should have stayed on the medium tyres, but we've gambled now and we're going to have to make those positions back and hopefully get more if possible. We're currently behind Bottas, who's on some old hards, as we'll have to make our way through the field again to get ourselves into the points. So the safety car's coming in this lap.
Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
Going to get work into these soft tyres to get them warmed up and ready to go. So we're going to need to get some gains out of this tyre to hopefully get us back to the position we were. And off we go, green flag running. And we're out into the last few laps of the race. Lap 27 we are in. Down the inside on Bottas, so we gain a position on him. We look to make our way past Stroll if possible, as we go for an overtake into this turn. It leaves us room, and we get through for an overtake on Stroll. Now we got Hulkenberg next up, as we use all our ERS and deploy it as all as we can. Go a little wide out of that turn. We're currently sitting behind Hulkenberg. Make a little bit of contact with Hulkenberg there as we hit the rear of him. Not enough though to destroy his car as we look to the inside into this turn. Make the move. Down the inside we go on Hulkenberg and we make the position. As now we have Ricciardo next. As we use all of our ERS down the straight. We go through the last turns of the race. And we use more ERS. Slow down before the turn. And through we go. We look to go down the inside on Ricciardo into turn 1. We veer in. We make the overtake. Probably not the best move to make. Probably shouldn't have gone for that. But we got lucky and got the position. We now look to make a position on Magnussen next, as he's in P11. We're just saving up our ERS to get an overtake on him soon on one of the straights. As we come out of the corner, we get right to the back of Magnussen as we look for a position. And he moves out the way for us as we make a little bit of contact with him. Into the corner we go. And we go around the outside on Magnussen and we make the position. We deploy ERS and we go down the inside as we go for an overtake and we make it up into P11. Next is Hamilton, as we have to catch up to the back of him. We've got 3 laps to go. We've made tons of overtakes on these softs. We're looking for more. We need to get ourselves back to where 9th place is for us to get anything out of these softs.
2.7 seconds.
Teammate 2.7 seconds ahead, as he's just ahead of Perez. He's doing solid at the moment. Just needs to keep himself out of the way and keep himself in that position of 8th place. As we use overtake down the straight to get ourselves in DRS range of Hamilton. Purple first sector as we go around these couple of corners. Front right is 21% worn now as we look to make a move on Hamilton. We can't do it there, but we'll deploy ERS and go down the straight. We look to the outside of Hamilton as he leaves us barely enough room. We go around the outside and we make the move up into P10. It's sizing up to be a last lap overtake on Perez as we save our ERS to be able to get an overtake on Perez. Currently on 27% worn on the front right tyre. We've gotten slight front wing damage now as a result from some of those moves. As we look to make our way on Perez as it's the last lap. Now we deploy our ERS, use DRS to make a move on Perez if possible, as he's going to look for a move on Gasly as he almost wipes himself out. He goes around the outside on Gasly and he makes the move. Perez goes up into P8 as we stay in P9 or P10. We go around the final couple corners of the lap. Max Verstappen wins the race after having a safety car and just not helping him out. We come home for P10 and Gasly gets P9.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
Such an important victory at this stage of the season. Any points you can achieve to go towards the table is really going to mean a lot to the team. So well done as they prepare for the end of the season.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Max Verstappen comes home to win the race in P1. Charles Leclerc P2 and Alonso finishes the podium in P3. Gasly got P9 and we got P10 for Alpine, 3 points for us. And 2 DNFs of Tsunoda and Albon, who must have had a crash during the race. We go into the standings, 242 points for the driver's standings for Max Verstappen, over Lando Norris in P2 with 191, and Leclerc number 3 with 139. We sit on 18 points after getting a point in that race, with Pierre Gasly on 13 points after getting 2 points in the race. In the Constructors, Red Bull have the lead with 330 points, over McLaren in P2 with 320. Ferrari come home with P3, and we get P6 with 31 points to the constructor of Visa Cash App, who have 20. And the 2 teams at the bottom, both with no points still. Gasly leads the rivalry between ourselves and him in a heated intensity fight. We're beating Logan Sargent in the ratings rivalry by 72 to 71. we gain some experience, racecraft, awareness, and pace, as well as some focus as well. We sit at 49% with the team recognition, so just not the main driver yet, but we're very close to being there. Our wind tunnel engineer gets upgraded to level 3 now, which is really good for us. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. If you want to see more racing content, be sure to be subscribed, like if you enjoyed, and see you in part 12 of the My Career series. See you in the next one.